Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, Lightwish recently contacted me and asked me if I'd be interested in trying out their glow in the dark UV resin. So, I've not tried it before, so I'm game. So, let's see what we get here. So, in the box, you get 8 different colors of glow in the dark UV resin, and they are like 50 grams, I believe. I'll have to recheck each. And you get the colors white, blue, purple, green, pink, orange, a light yellow, and a dark yellow. So we're going to try those out today, but we're going to try them out in here in a little bit. Now, what I want to do is I have this cute little lizard that I recently purchased, and I want to make kind of like a name sign type deal for my grandson. And I have an idea. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to use a combination of Let's Resin's intense chameleon powders and their normal chameleon powders, mainly in the blue-green kind of family, and then that olive color that kind of gives the white look depending on what color you back it with, because it's one of my favorite colors out of them. And we are going to dry brush this on to this little guy and see kind of what we can come up with. Now, I am using, I believe they're like eyeliner brushes, mainly because this little guy, he's small. And I don't want this powder to go everywhere because it's going to be a pain in the butt to clean. And I suck at cleaning. I really do suck at cleaning just all of the over spray poofiness that comes out when you're trying to do this. And I want to kind of like make it as easy on myself as possible. So I figured this was the way to go. It doesn't hold a whole lot and we can clean it off like pretty easily. And then on the spots, like I put the blue in on his feet and his tail and his eyes. Now, I'm just getting a little bit of alcohol and I'm cleaning up any areas that I don't want it. And then I'm going to go in with the olive and I'm going to go over his face and into his body. Now, I kind of want to do kind of like an ombre effect-ish, going from this olive into the tail, where I'm going to go into the darker, like in the body, I'm going, all right, let's start this over. Head, olive. Body, partly olive, into the intense chameleon, like the green, and then we're gonna kind of go into blues for the tail, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna kind of plop on some powder, like one where I want it to start kind of blending a little bit, since you can't really blend this stuff on the silicone like you would if you were painting or something like that. I'm just gonna kind of plop some powder down and then get the other color and kind of mix it. You'll see when I demold it how it turns out. And that's it. That's it. We're just gonna finish coloring him up. I'm pretty happy with the way that it turns out, as far as the colors go. And yeah, I mean, you can't beat Let's Resin's chameleon powders. Like, you really truly cannot. They are just, they're stunning powders. They really are. They're probably the best that I've used out of all the different chameleon powders that I've tried. Like, I truly, truly like them. All right, so he's all done. So you kind of see what I'm talking about in the kind of ombre thing, how we've got colors going into colors. And you can just do that by dropping your powder on before you mix it up and then kind of blending it in with another color. So today I'm using Rolio's resin, and I've not used it before, so we're going to kind of see how that works out too. Now, this video isn't about Rolio's resin, it's about Lightwish, so we're going to get into the Rolio on another one. And I am just going to use some of the Let's Resin Ocean White Pigment Paste in here because I don't want to go dark. I want to go lighter with this in the areas where the normal chameleon powder is. I don't want that dark color. I want it kind of light and bright. Now, I know with the intense colors that I've used, it pretty much doesn't matter what color you put behind it. It's because it's intense, you're going to get that intense color out of it. It's just the normal chameleon powders will be a little bit lighter so that there's going to be more of a dramatic effect between the intense and the normal, if that makes sense. And I'm just slowly filling it up so it just flows into all of these. It is a pretty detailed little mold with especially the tail. There's a lot of like little ridges and ribs and stuff like that in there. And just kind of coaxing it into all the little fingers on this guy to make sure that there's no air bubbles. And I am being very careful. I'm just using the small tip dotting tool, being very careful not to scratch that chameleon powder off of there, because that will ruin the effect that we're going for. And that's it. We're going to hit it with some heat, and we are going to let this guy cure up, and then we're going to move on to the next step. All right, hit it with heat one last time. 24 hours later, and here we are. Now it's time to demold this little guy and see what we get. Now, I don't have any other lizard molds, so I kind of thought when I was getting this one, I thought it was the bigger one, but I guess I didn't pay attention to the size, so this is just a little itty bitty guy, but it's fine. It'll work for the purposes here today. Okay, so he looks so cute. Do you see how it's got like a lighter effect to it? Now, had I gone black, that white that's up there on his head and a little bit on his tail would have been completely different. All right, so this is the board that I'm going to use to put him on and make my grandson's name sign. So I am just going to go over it really quick with a coat of just black acrylic paint. And I'm not making it like super thick. I want to kind of be able to see the wood grain underneath. So I don't want it thick. I do want it covered. I just don't want it thick. So as long as you can see the black and you can't see the wood peeking through, I'm good with it. Doesn't have to be anything, crazy special. It's just we're covering it with black. Now, I am going along the edges and the side as well. Not worried about the back. Back's going to be up against a wall or a door or whatever. It's not going to be seen, so it doesn't really matter. And that's it for this part. Then we're going to get into kind of putting it all together and making it something that's going to be pretty cool, I think. Okay, so I feel like for him, I did his eyes in blue, but they're just not translating. So I'm just going to take my black paint pen and put some ink out, take one of these little eyeliner brushes, and I'm just going to go over the eye, both of them, with some black, just to kind of make them stand out a little bit more. I thought the blue would show up better for what I wanted, but it's not translating the way that I want it to. So I think black is the way that I'm going to go for this. And we're just going to paint it up real quick. Now, these paintbrushes they're not paintbrushes. That's what I'm using them for. But the eyeliner brushes, they are really, like, they're great. I have used them in a lot of things. I used them in the Charlie Brown thing that I did on Tuesday's video, and they work really well. You can get a very fine point with them, and just for like little detailed areas like this, they're pretty spot on, pretty good. Like I'm really happy with that purchase, honestly. I am. All right, so eyes are done, mouth is done. Now let's get into these glow-in-the-dark UV resins. So, because I've not used them before, I kind of just got a silicone tray that I have. This is actually for my ISTOYO mixer, like the drip tray. And I just want to put a little bit of each color on here, cure it up just to see what the colors look like and what they're going to look like up against that black board that I have, because we're going to do something with that. Now, you can see up against the white how bright they show up. Obviously, it's white. And the colors are pretty cool. Like, I'm digging the colors. Some of them, obviously, are a little bit more like the blue and the green. They're very similar. I feel like the green isn't... It's more of a bluish kind of color as opposed to, like, an actual green. But still, it's pretty cool. Alright, so now just placing them up there so I kind of get an idea of what colors are going to pop best against this. Now, we're going to get our lizard in place, get him glued on so I know what area I have to work with, and I'm just scuffing up the bottom of him where I'm going to put some E6000 glue, wiping off all the dust so that nothing kind of gets, in the way of it adhering to the board. And we're going to put the glue on the back, kind of smear it around, pop him on, and then we're going to get started with the actual like decorating of the board. Now, I'm going to hop off here in a minute because it does take me a little while to do. But the one thing that I do want to say is that as I am applying these colors, now obviously some of them are brighter, more fluorescent, like this orange, for instance. It's going to show up a little bit better up against that black than some of these other colors. But that's actually, it's okay because the way that this is going to translate is going to be kind of cool. Like, obviously, I want his name bright and bold and so that you can see it, right? And to get that, I'm going to go over it a couple of layers thick on this resin. I'm doing one and then I'll go over it 2 or 3 times depending on what I feel it needs. Now, for the bottom part when I do it, you're not going to actually be able to see the color. It's kind of like, I want it almost like an invisible picture, if that makes sense. Like, so that when the light's on, like you can, obviously you're going to be able to tell that something's there. It's not completely invisible, right? But you can't see the colors and you can't see exactly everything that's going on. You could just see that there's something there. But then when the lights are out, that's when the picture kind of comes to life, right? That's kind of what I'm going for on this, just to kind of give you a little bit of, so like, you're not like, well, I don't see anything that you're doing. It doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm going for. It's going to be a transitional picture that when you look at it, when there's no light, that's when you're actually going to see the whole thing. So at this point, I'm going to pop off while I do this, and then I'll be back in a bit. I will catch you on the flip side.
Grandma's love like pure light, every laugh a sweet delight, her heart takes flight. In the park where shadows play, sunshine dances in their way. Holding hands they stroll all day, joy never fades. Apple of her eye, under the blue sky, with a heart so high, love that never dies. Cookies baking warm and neat, stories told from her seat, gentle words of love complete, moments so sweet. In every smile and every tear, Grandma's love is always near. Whispers soft that they can hear, forever dear. Apple of her eye, under the blue sky, with a heart so high, love that never dies. Ooh, 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 ooh. In the studio, light shining, colors flowing, you're designing, pouring love into your resin. Each piece a perfect lesson. Glitters dance in liquid streams, crafting hearts from fading dreams. Molds are set, creativity's call, unique pieces standing tall. For the ones you cherish so, art from heart, it starts to glow. Every detail speaks your love, custom crafted from above. Resin cures and time stands still, every piece a heart to fill, creating joy with each new mold. Love stories in every fold. Shimmering with hues so bright, captured stars within the night. Transparent waves of feelings blend, endless wonders never end. Core the ones you cherish so, art from heart, it starts to glow. Every detail speaks your love, custom crafted from above. Resin cures and time stands still, every piece a heart to fill, creating joy with each new mold. Love stories in every fold. For the ones you cherish so, art from heart, it starts to glow. Every detail speaks your love, custom crafted from above.
Alright, I'm back. As I kind of am finishing this up, you can see that I added a little bit of detail to the actual lizard itself, and that's because I want it all to show when the lights go out. And that's pretty much it. Now, I do put this under my Let's Resin dual UV light for a good 5 minutes just to make sure that everything is 100% cured, because I am only spot doing it right now. And then that's it. So that is a wrap on this one, guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will catch you on Saturday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Grandma's love like pure light, every laugh a sweet delight, her heart takes flight. In the park where shadows play, sunshine dancing